Welcome back. My name is Steve Kirby. Cruel and unusual punishment is prohibited by the Eighth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. However, Islam allows it, and at times mandates such punishments. Here is a list of those punishments. Amputation and death for theft. Amputation of a hand and foot from the opposite sides. Amputation of the fingers and toes. Beheading. Burning people to death. Crucifixion. Flogging. Stoning to death. Torture. The details about the commands of Allah and the teachings of Muhammad that support these punishments are too extensive to be covered in this short video. However, details about these punishments are found in Chapter 7 of my book, Islamic Doctrine versus the U.S. Constitution, The Dilemma for Muslim Public Officials. This book is available on Amazon. And you can also download a free PDF copy of this book from either of the websites listed here. I begin this video series by noting that many of the core tenets of Islamic doctrine are in direct conflict with much of the U.S. Constitution. Over the course of this series, we have learned a lot about that conflict. In the first video, I talked about the fact that Muslims in public office have to take an oath to support the U.S. Constitution, a document in conflict with their religion. This conflict between the Constitution and Islamic doctrine led to the creation of the Muslim Oath Project, in which I asked 4 questions of Muslim public officials and candidates that required them to choose between the U.S. Constitution or Islamic doctrine. The 4 questions and the list of Muslim public officials and candidates I have contacted are located at the Muslim Oath Project website. Here are the latest eye-opening results. As of August 8th, 2020, I have contacted 233 Muslim public officials and candidates. Only 16 of them expressed support for the U.S. Constitution. However, 6 of those 16 would not give me permission to use their names. And 217, it's 93%, of the Muslims contacted would not express support for the U.S. Constitution. Keep this in mind about the Constitution for which those 217 would not express support. The Constitution of the United States of America is the supreme law of the United States, empowered with the sovereign authority of the people by the framers and the consent of the legislatures of the states. It is the source of all government powers, and also provides important limitations on the government that protect the fundamental rights of United States citizens. In his farewell address, George Washington said, "The Constitution, which at any time exists, till changed by an explicit and authentic act of the whole people, is sacredly obligatory upon all." The first paragraph of the United States Constitution starts out by saying, "We the people of the United States," and ends with the words, "do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." We the people establish the Constitution, and it is up to we the people to ensure that our Constitution is sacredly obligatory upon all. So what are we to do about the fact that 217 of the Muslim public officials and candidates that I contacted would not express support for that Constitution? We're at a point where it requires more than just social media posts. Each of us must take action. Here's what you can do. First, download a free PDF copy of my book. In chapters 10 and 11, I discuss how to prepare yourself and your friends for going to public events and asking Muslim public officials and candidates questions requiring them to publicly decide between the U.S. Constitution or Islamic doctrine. In those 2 chapters, I provide questions that can be asked and information about how to handle evasive responses. Some of this information and some of those questions can also be found in these brochures that are available on my brochures page of my personal website for free downloading or printing out. Next, go to the Muslim Oath Project website and start politely contacting some of the 217 Muslim public officials and candidates listed there who would not express support for the Constitution. Those already in office have official email addresses, and candidates provide contact information on campaign websites or Facebook pages. Mention that they are on the Muslim Oath Project list and ask them why they would not express support for the Constitution. Then ask them specific questions from my book or brochures that require them to make a choice between the Constitution or Islamic doctrine. If a Muslim public official or candidate is having a public event in your area, attend and ask those questions there. Record that part of the event if possible, and posted on social media. In a December 1776 tract titled The American Crisis, Thomas Paine wrote, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman." We have a crisis in America today. Of the 233 Muslim public officials and candidates I contacted, 217 would not express support for the Constitution that some of them had already sworn to support, and that the successful candidates among them would be swearing to support. For summer soldiers and sunshine patriots, the U.S. Constitution is only 4 pieces of parchment paper with writing on them. For we the people, it is the supreme law of our land. We must stand up for that Constitution and make it sacredly obligatory upon all by expecting that our public officials and candidates will publicly acknowledge that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, even if that Constitution is in direct conflict with core teachings of their religion. These 217 Muslim public officials and candidates appear to be operating under the belief that no one will hold them personally accountable to our Constitution. So we, the people, must be the ones to get out of our comfort zones, ask those tough questions, and hold those Muslim public officials and candidates accountable to the Constitution. As Patrick Henry said, "Why stand we here idle? Rally your friends in conservative groups. Stand up for the United States Constitution now, and future generations of Americans will thank you for it."